Robbed and murdered 77 million native Indians, 100 million blacks in the slave trade. You are responsible for the crimes of your forefathers. A lot of you white people walk around here like, I never had slaves. You were never a slave. I never had slaves. But you benefit for the crimes of your forefathers. The reason why you are able to walk around and enjoy Hollywood is because your fathers had to kill. They had to rape and they had to murder innocent people for you to have that opportunity. Does it make sense? The Lord hates Esau. And if you so-called white people, you are descended from a man named Esau in the Bible. I think you better learn your history, okay? You are the original caveman. And this is the original caveman that you see right here. The original.
I'm in a hell of a hole. Was never expected to grow. Just obstacle set in the road. That a result of me selling my soul. The story I'm telling is cold, but yet it's what everyone knows. The white man's the devil is known. America was never a home. Only a place of captivity, save facility, hating, disfigure me. They claim that I'm lazy, be killing me. Maybe this slavery draining my energy.
As a young black man, I feel that I have an obligation to my race of people. Not to no other race, or no other nationality, just to black people.
Getting high. You see people blowing on them vape pens. You understand?
All day of mourning when they announced that he won the election.
So you definitely are somebody that disdains Donald Trump's policies
So hard.
and the way he's going, how hard he's going on the Mexicans.
Oh, and the Mexicans.
Yeah.
And DEI initiatives.
Right.
And anything that makes people unique and individuals and worth living. Yes.
Did you know that DEI, the number one group that benefits from DEI is actually white women?
Of course it is.
The problem is you forgot who God's chosen people were, and you forgot who is the leadership on this earth. We're black and brown people. We are one. We are not separate.
You think it's wrong for Donald Trump to kick out Mexicans?
It seems like what's happening right now is based on a lot of like racial biases and unfair assumptions. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of where things have been moving politically in the country, but it seems it's good to see the acts of protest and people speaking up against what they believe in. Speaking for what they believe in.
So you think it's wrong?
Largely what he's doing, yeah, I think so.
All right. Do you think that the Native Indians should have kicked out Christopher Columbus?
I'm pretty against like any group coming in and taking over land. I think what happens historically is like horrible. So I'd rather not express any like support for like the takeover of any group. I don't think that was right to do. We're here now, but yeah, I understand that.
Do you believe that Arizona and Texas is Mexico, or is that United States?
That's a good question. Historically, being a part of the Mexican country, I think we carry a lot of their culture. But as of right now, I consider it part of the United States. I think.
Let's say the border, they got in the way. What the fuck?
Yeah, right. How you feel about ICE?
Fuck them! Fuck them! That's how I feel. Fuck them.
Okay, so should Europeans go back to Europe?
They can go wherever the fuck they want.
I feel like everybody should be wherever the fuck they want to be. There's no one holding them back. Go ahead and reach your dreams. Leave mine on my shoulders, yours on yours.
Okay, who does this land belong to?
All of the fucking people.
Native American, indigenous people were here first. So,
But like, we can all be one. Come on now.
What they say? Oh, dead ass.
No, cause like, are we dead ass right now?
No, real
Human
talk.
rights.
Real talk.
What is there to disagree?
Should black and brown people, since we've been in slavery for the last 400 or 500 years, should we come together because we have a common enemy?
we all should come together as one, because without anyone, we're nothing. We're with a community, and that's all that matters. So, unite, rally up.
Finish this sentence. I drink my horchata warm because ICE is running into schools. They're grabbing people from the...
I don't know, I ain't gonna lie now.
How you feel about immigration?
I mean,
I know what he's trying to get.
it's cool. I mean, it's cool. Yeah, I'm not wrong with it. I mean,
Okay, ask him. What's up? I drink my horchata warm because...
I don't got ice.
Huh?
I don't. Oh no! What the fuck?
Because...
Cause I don't fuck with ice. Yes, sir.
If you fall, brown man, then I'll be there to save you. If the black man fall, the brown man be there to save him.
Right.
Two are better than one. Black and brown, unite or die.
That's
Black
right.
and brown, unite or die. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians have to come together. Come together, and you can stop the oppression of Donald Trump.
Black and brown, unite or die. Donald Trump is the devil. Fuck ICE.
Nigga, we drink our horchata warm, niggas. It's fuck ice, nigga.
As a young black man, I feel that I have an obligation to my race of people. Not to no other race or no other nationality, just to black people.
But there's so many lies that we believe and so many doctrines within doctrines in the Christian church. Like they say, plead the blood of Jesus. What the hell does that mean? The prophets of the Lord are being rose up again in this time period to bring back the Lord's chosen people and to stand on our feet and be those people again. That
Your ancestors wasn't junkies. They wasn't getting high and, you know what I mean, hating one another and killing one another. You know why? Because they was being killed by the slave master. They wasn't, your ancestors had a different mindset. And if you really think about it, our ancestors were stronger than us and they were better than us. You know why? Because they knew they had an enemy and they knew who their enemy was. Today, black people don't know who your enemy is.
how the hell you think we got this truth? The I.S.U.P.K didn't come out of thin air. This truth comes from slaves, remembering that they were the children of Israel. We are the children of God. And if you don't understand it yet, you will understand it. We will bring it to you. We will get it through your brain that you are God's chosen people. And there is no dream. There is no thing. There is no success without learning who you are as a people.
According to God, the white man is the devil.
You see, I've been in here for a little minute. You know what I'm saying? And I see niggas, they like to talk a lot. They like to claim leadership. They like to claim this and that. You know what I'm saying? They like to be above what they really is and have authority. But they don't really need that authority. They don't really know what to do with that leadership. You understand? You hold hands with this white ass, need to stop and ask you to give a damn what you talk about. Don't give a fuck what you believe, nigga. Gotta stand up to serve my God. We don't pray on our knees, nigga. Yeah. See, everybody ain't with all that peace talk. Everybody ain't with all that. Let bygone be. Boy, ass need to stop and ask you to profit.
Black man, black woman, Latino man, Latino woman, Native man, Native woman. You have no idea how much you destroy your life when you walk away from the truth of the Lord. You lost your whole identity, don't even know who you are today. And you got the nerve to look at us like we strange. Like I always teach the brothers, if a white man came along and said, oh, you don't know? You black people are the doo-doo people. You should consider it because you don't know no damn way. We know, we won't consider it. Why? because we know who we are and we declare our identity. And we are the 12 tribes of the children of Israel.
Let's do ourselves a favor. Let's all don't take no credit. Let's give credit to the one cat that went on the cross, died, dropped dead, came up out the grave to give us another shot. Now, unless you did it too, then you ain't really pulled the game off. You know what I mean? I ain't never died for none of y'all. I ain't going no cross and die. I mean, I'd like to believe I'd go down for the get down.
That's right.
I've been in the game long enough that I feel very confident that I'll take that hot one for you. You know what I'm saying? I'm feeling very confident. But I haven't done it, and the Lord haven't put me in a position to do it. But there's a brother that did. And guess what? By giving him all the glory, nobody got to be jealous of nobody.
Cops wanna kill me cause I'm black. Ops wanna drill me cause I'm black. Can't get no job cause I'm black. She wanna fuck me cause I'm black. My dad don't like me cause I'm black. But she Hispanic so she black. Ain't got no time for none of that. Bitch, I'm a Jude, so I'm black. Cops wanna kill me cause I'm black. Ops wanna drill me cause I'm black. Can't get no job cause I'm black. She wanna fuck me cause I'm black. My dad don't like me cause I'm black. But she Hispanic so she black. Ain't got no time for none of that. Bitch, I'm a Jude, so I'm black. I can't fight the cops and the ops. Toting Glocks heavy on the block. While a crack tucked in the sock. Instead help the ones I love. We was on the block for the grub. If he from my side, then it's love. Wanted big knots, busting out the jeans. But we was hurting all the fiends. Without that crack, he looked just like me. Dirty nigga from the concrete. But the white man dealt the sand. So we eating out the trash can. People ride by. Don't extend a hand, cause to them, this an average black man. So for him, that's why I gotta make it. I ain't talking rap. Before the slave ships, I'm one of a kind. Y'all can't take it. I can never leave my spot vacant, cause I'm black. I see crowns and I take it, cause I'm black. I never been in no spaceship, but I know a UFO when I see it. I know that it's gonna come when I need it. I put faith in God more than Bible reading. Go, I don't play that shit. Address them when you see them.
Gone. You said what? Okay. All right. Gone. You can turn that. You can put that on mute. Okay. All right. Let's clap it up. Let's clap it up. Hey, Shalom, Israel. Shalom, Israel. We up in the house. Precinct Officer Tawaga Bar. And I got my main men rocking with me as always, young man Jeremiah, Officer I.S.U.P.K, and we are going to go into heaven and hell. That's the main topic of this class tonight, but we also going to talk about black and brown unity and some current events, some things that's going on right now that I think is good to bring out. If you have any questions or just comments, let it be known. Rain Relaxation said, when you holding camp on Hollywood Boulevard? We'll be out there in Hollywood Boulevard probably in about 2 weeks. I will keep it posted. I will keep brothers and sisters updated the minute we step foot back in Hollywood to rock and rumble and wake up our people. I can't wait to go to camp. You know, I'm looking forward to, stepping back in Hollywood and getting back to a regular scheduled programming, because it's a refreshing thing to go to camp. It energizes you. It keeps you in the loop. We just came from Arizona last weekend. Let's clap it up for that. We was out there rocking and rolling. We was out there rocking and rolling, doing interviews, hitting the streets, having camp, and that's a beautiful thing. Just like the priests and prophets of the Lord in old time, that's what they did. They didn't just stay, in the area where they were born. They went to different areas and they spoke this word. You know what I mean? In any school, in the I.S.U.P.K, in any state, you'll find brothers doing the same thing, being on the same page, being one body, right? So you got the story I sent you. Let's get that story real quick. Let's get that story. Now, this is a story with a sister that beat her son to death. And I thought it was important to bring this out. You understand? Because you hear these things all the time. You hear about brothers and sisters unaliving their children, you know, doing what our oppressor does to his family, unaliving his children and then taking themselves out, just losing their wits, snapping. And in this particular case, it wasn't that. It was she was disciplining him. She was whipping him, and it got terribly out of hand. Okay. Let me see. 1 second. I'm gonna screen share. I should have had a I got an article, but I don't know if the article actually has a picture of the mother. There are pictures of the mother and the son. Let me see if I can look it up real quick so we can give brothers and sisters a visual, right? So, Jesus Christ. I did not ask about Michael Jackson. Yeah, so just to give a visual.
So I found something to send it to you.
Yeah, if you could send it to me. You send it in how?
Oh, Messenger.
Okay. Let me pull this up. You sent it now? Okay, I was looking. I was about to say, where's... There we go. Yeah, so, okay. The water. Pull this up. We'll just share this. Denaya Young, huh? You can go ahead and start reading.
Come on. It says, Salakia. On January 30th, Seattle police respond to a call for an unresponsive boy in South Seattle apartment.
Go, keep going.
Salakia. Article is tripping, Salakia.
Oh.
Salakia. On January 30th, Seattle police respond to a call for an unresponsive boy in a South Seattle apartment. Denaya Young, the boy's mother, called 911. When officers respond, she told them that she went too far, so like a quote unquote too far, during an hour-long beating of the teen for not doing his chores, according to court documents.
So she beat her son for hours. In one article, it said it lasted for 3 hours. But when the police arrived, she said she had went too far. She had already admitted that she had went too far. Go ahead.
The teen was temporarily resuscitated by first responders and died shortly after arriving at Harborview Medical Center. According to court documents, Young, 29-year-old, beat the teen with an extension cord until his heart gave out.
She beat her son with an extension cord until his heart gave out. In other articles, it says that she beat him with an HDMI cord. She beat him to death. Go ahead.
Come on. The medical examiner said the boy had 1,172 fresh injuries from the beating.
How many?
1,172.
He had 1,172 marks?
Fresh injuries.
Fresh injuries from the beating. That's a shame, y'all. That's a shame.
Right.
Keep going.
Come on. And likely passed away from sudden inflammatory response syndrome, or distributive shock. Court documents define sudden inflammatory response syndrome as when the body sends blood and blood serum to so many different injuries around the body, attempting to heal them, that it draws enough blood out from the muscles and other vital areas that there is not enough to sustain the heart.
Damn. So what is that called again? Sudden
Sudden inflammatory response syndrome.
Sudden inflammatory response syndrome, when your body is trying to heal itself, but it's so many wounds that it can't heal itself. And this is the reason why this young man died. Let me switch this real quick. This is the reason why this little brother died. Because his mother beat him to death. She beat him like the slave master beat our ancestors, right? That's exactly what she did. Let me stop sharing. I'll try to blow this picture up. This might be a little better. Let me see. That's a little better. Any more on that?
Come.
Go ahead.
Young said she lost count of how many times she hit her child.
She lost count on how many times she hit her child. Now, does it say anything about the living situation, about him having a guardian and he was visiting his mother?
So but it does talk about like
the father, the stepfather.
Come on.
Let me hear what the stepfather. Now, this happened in front of other siblings and the mother's boyfriend. I don't know if he has children by that are the other siblings, or if he was just there. But does it say what he said?
Come on.
Okay, go ahead and read that.
Come on. It starts off while the 14-year-old enduring the beating, his 3 siblings, a 5-month-old and a 4-year-old and a 6-year-old, were present. The teen's stepfather was also present during the beating, but did nothing to stop it, according to court documents. The stepfather told officers that he didn't intervene with the teen's previous beatings because the child is not his, and he felt it wasn't his place, saying it was best to mind his own business, quote unquote, in these situations.
Listen, both of those parents hated that boy.
Right.
In another article, it says that he came to visit, but he never returned back to his guardian. So his mother was not even his legal guardian.
Right.
I guess it doesn't say it in that article, but his mother was not even his legal guardian. He came to visit and never returned. And now he's a 14-year-old and she's telling him to do chores and she just loses it. And she beats him for up to 3 hours and he's begging her to stop. And in one instance, he's saying, I can't get up. I can't get up, Mom. And she, go ahead, go ahead and read that.
Come on. Young said she lost count of how many times she hit her child. He told her that he was dizzy and kept falling down, but she told officers that she thought he was pretending to get out of cleaning the mess he made, according to court documents.
And he's just being a lazy teenager. You know, we've all been there. Being a lazy, don't want to clean up behind yourself. Didn't take the trash out on time and stuff like that. And she felt like he was pretending. He was playing around. He was not really begging for his life and about to lose his life. This is a shame, man. And if you could give me the precept, if you know the precept where it talks about how the mothers treat their offspring, if you could. This is a horrible instance, and this is not just about. See, I wanted to talk about this because this mother is so-called disciplining him for not doing his chores. This is not like the regular ones where people just unalive their children, where they just off their children and off themselves or do something to their children. This is not one of them stories. This is a story where everything is supposed to be going good. He doesn't do his chores and he gets disciplined for it. But it went to a whole nother level, and she took her son's life. And I would say it's an assumption that she hated her son,
right?
That she had other children that came after this oldest son,
right?
And she hated that father, and this son reminded her of that father,
right?
It's clear that she went so hard on this boy that they both hated him.
Right.
The stepfather didn't step in. He didn't do anything. He said, "Oh, it's not my. It's good. It's better for me not to get into it. It's not my kid." But you couldn't say stop.
Right.
You couldn't say, "Babe, you're doing a little too much. Sit down. Just calm down."
Right.
I'll make sure he take out a trash. You couldn't do that?
Right.
Go ahead.
So
Go
like,
ahead.
man,
Go ahead.
One thing I'd like to point out, she's 29.
Mhm.
The young boy is 14. That means she had this kid at 15.
That's a good point,
So
Iba.
she wasn't, ready to be a mother.
She wasn't ready to be a mother. She was hot in the ass. She had a child when she was young. And so she's frustrated. She's full of fury and anger.
Right.
She feel like she done got a bad rap, and she's holding all of that energy towards this son. And now he's not here, man.
Right.
Think about that, man. You die at the hands of your mother. It's one thing to die at the hands of your father. You die at the hands of your mother. You know what I mean? Not a stranger, not somebody on the streets, not no random criminal, but at the hands of the woman who birthed you. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
Come on. The book of Lamentations, chapter 4, verse 3. Even the sea monsters draw out the breast. They give suck to their young ones. The daughter of my people has become cruel, like the ostriches in the wilderness.
It says, even the sea monsters, they look after their young. They care for their young, meaning even the creatures in the ocean.
Right.
They look after. You ever seen a blue whale? You ever seen how they take care of their nursing their young children? You ever seen how a elephant looks after a baby elephant?
Right.
After its children? The Lord is saying, even these sea monsters, even these animals will look after. We're human beings, and those are considered animals. Even they will look after their young. They will have a care for their young. Go ahead.
Come on, verse 4. The tongue of the sucking child cleaveth to the roof of his mouth for thirst. The young child, so like the young children ask bread, and no man breaketh it unto them.
Wait, go back about the ostrich.
Come on. The daughters of my people has become cruel, like the ostriches in the wilderness. The tongue of the sucking child.
You could drop that. It talks about the ostriches in the wilderness where they go and they sit on the eggs and they end up breaking the eggs.
Right.
They don't take care and concern for the children. You know what I mean? This is a cautionary tale for Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. We go through a lot. And another thing about this is that nobody ever looks at us like there's something mentally wrong with us.
Right.
Nobody looks at Black women and Black men like, you might not have all of, the marbles in a row. You might not have all your ducks in a row. You might be some things going on with you mentally,
right,
and emotionally, and your maturity that, it ain't right. You need therapy. You need to talk to someone. You need to reach out. You need to, take medication. I'm sure this mother probably supposed to be on some damn medication. Go ahead, Abba.
So like, if I may, another thing. So like, it says she has 3 more kids, including him, at 29. A 5-month-old, a 4, and a 6-year-old.
Okay.
So it's like, it seemed like she was still still going through postpartum. 5-month-old is, still fresh for a mother to have a baby. So
exactly.
Like you're saying, she probably took that anger and that frustration out in the wrong place and, took this brother's life, unfortunately.
Unfortunately, man, this is 14-year-old brother. May he rise again. All right. We're going to move on. I was going to talk about the Super Bowl, but I think people pretty much know about the Super Bowl, about how the Super Bowl halftime show came to be, how it came to be. I'm sure somebody, you done heard it maybe in class or somewhere where the Wayans brothers wanted to grab some of the 20 million viewers that the NFL had during the halftime show. Now, the halftime show was just, people doing drums and stuff. It wasn't nothing big, like a high school, like a college halftime show. And so all of these viewers are viewing into, what is it? Channel, what channel did the Super Bowl come on? Channel 7?
Fox.
Fox? No, it's not Fox. Oh. That was In Living Color came on Fox. Oh. So let's just say the channel that the NFL was coming on, I don't know if it was 2 or Channel 7, like it still is. All of these viewers left during the halftime show and went to go watch In Living Color. In Living Color, if many brothers don't know, many sisters, you might be too young to know about In Living Color. In Living Color, they did skits. It was like, I think it was probably 30 minutes once a week where they did, funny, diabolical skits that push the envelope. And in these skits, let me drop this. In these skits, and it was it was about religion, about race, about things in society, controversial issues. And In Living Color was the most popular show on television at this time. So all these people went to go see In Living Color during the halftime show, and many of them did not never come back. They never came back. They never went back and watched the rest of the Super Bowl. So the NFL got wind to it. They was like, So they decided to reach out, and they got Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson was, of course, the biggest star in 1992. Nobody comes close to Michael Jackson in his superstardom worldwide. Right. And Michael Jackson basically said that he would do it for $1 million. Well, they didn't end up giving Michael Jackson $1 million. And Michael Jackson did it for the benefit of the exposure that it gives you, just being on a world stage and being seen. Now, like, if you're a superstar, a black superstar, what exposure are you? Where does this exposure come from? It comes from white people. It comes from other white people that don't know you, never listen to your music. The same as with Kendrick Lamar. Kendrick Lamar didn't get paid for his Super Bowl performance. No one gets paid for their Super Bowl performance. But this all came, if you could give me the precept, it's in Proverbs, witty inventions. Witty inventions. This all came about what you know today as a Super Bowl halftime performance because of the Wayans brothers that created In Living Color. And so today, nobody you ever see perform actually gets paid. Now the NFL might pay for, traveling expenses and things of that nature, but nobody is getting paid, and they haven't been getting paid. So you have these superstars, these people that are entertaining the world, who are blacks and Hispanics usually. And because of what Michael Jackson did, he basically undermined everybody that would come after him, because he didn't get paid, and now no one gets paid for performing at the halftime and during the Super Bowl. If you could, but hold that. So the point I'm making is this: the white man saw the potential. He saw something that he didn't see before, and it's because of black and Hispanic people that he even had got the idea. And now he makes gazillions of dollars when all of that money could have been going into the black and Hispanic community because of the entertainment value that we give to the world. Right. And the Super Bowl halftime show, if you could.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 8, verse 11. Also like verse 12. I, wisdom, dwell with prudence and find out knowledge of witty inventions.
Find out knowledge of witty inventions. Innovative. That's blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. We are innovative. There's so many brothers and sisters that the reason why you have a life that you have today in America is because of some Israelite that you never heard of, who invented something, who thought of some type of process, who came with some idea, in this case, an idea that said, oh, we never thought of that before. Let's do this. And then use you. That's why in the scripture it says that we are the salt of the earth. But if the salt loses its savor, wherewith would it be salted? Right. Like if you lose who you are and your identity in the law, statute, and commandments, you don't have no 10 toes to stand on. Right. So everybody else could just use and abuse you and walk over you and take what they want from you. Right. And you reap none of the benefits. And today, black and Hispanic people, whoever performs today at the Super Bowl, they reap none of the benefits because of our lack of knowledge and our ignorance. This goes back to our identity, because if we had an identity, we could stand and say, no, we're not doing this. We need to get paid for this. Right. We need to see something from the entertainment value that we bring. Or you could just go back to white people doing backflips and doing drums during the halftime show. How would that look? How would that be?
Right.
You understand? So I wanted to bring that out. Now, let's talk about black and brown unity. Let's get it. If you could give me Ecclesiastes 4 and 9. Ecclesiastes 4 and 9. There's a video right now that's out where a police officer is standing on the chest of a Native American Indian. He's being arrested, and you have a police officer standing on his chest. And it's on a reservation, I believe. I can't remember the name of the reservation, but this type of treatment and the treatment that you see that's happening with ICE, we need black and brown unity. We need that black and brown unity like we never needed it before, because many people think that United States government is only targeting Mexicans. But as quick as they focus on Mexicans, they can turn their focus on black people next.
Right.
You understand? Because they're not focused on any other group. They're focused on God's chosen people. And this is not just physical. This is spiritual. This is a spiritual thing. It's happening in a way so that you can understand who the devil is.
Right.
And black and Hispanic people, you are so goddamn dumb. You're so lost in the sauce that you still, after all of this oppression, after all of the injustices and the unfairness, you still can't pinpoint who the devil is. You look at your people as being devils when you work with devils every day that give you microaggressions,
right,
and treat you unfairly at the workplace. And you still will keep hoping and keep hope alive. Let me hear what you got.
Oh, God. The book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 4, verse 9.
Uh-huh.
2 are better than 1.
Right.
Because they have a good reward for their labor.
Mm-hmm.
For if they fall, the one will lift up his fellow.
The Bible says that 2 are better than 1. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, you like to be separate. You like to divide yourself into, Crips and Bloods and MS-13 and Black Panthers and Brown Berets and FBA and Pan-Africanism and Chicanos this and that and Latin Kings. You like to divide yourself instead of thinking like, man, look at the power that we have. Look at the influence we have by ourselves.
Right.
If we come together, we will be better. We will be greater. Read it from the top again.
Oh, God. The book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 4, verse 9.
Uh-huh.
2 are better than 1.
2 are better than 1.
Okay.
That's in anything. Two brothers, 2 sisters, $2, 2 wolves, 2 lions. 2 is better than 1.
Right.
Go ahead.
Oh, God. Because they have a good reward for their labor.
Mm-hmm.
For if they fall, then one will lift up his fellow.
Because if you fall, you have somebody to lift you up. You have some help. If you fall, which at some point in time, we as individuals all need help. We all need help at some point in time. And we get help from someone.
Right.
But imagine if Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians came together, the things that we cry out for, the oppression that we cry against. And if we say, you know what, we're coming together, confederate, and we're going to have a day where there's no black or brown people.
Right.
We want y'all to feel the force. We want you to feel it. A day when there is no black or brown people at school, at work, nowhere. And see how we can bring this government to their knees.
Right.
Before you know it, you have white men in suits coming and asking the Black and Hispanic community, what do you need? What do you want us to do? What initiatives what laws do you want us to change? Because you are the lifeblood of America.
Right.
You are the reason why America is America.
Right.
It's not because of some Somalian that came as an immigrant. It's not because of some Armenian that came as an immigrant. It's not because of Irish that came as an immigrant. It's not because of Canadian that came as an immigrant. It's because of Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians are God's chosen people. And it was built off of our backs and our blood and our sweat and our tears.
Right.
That's why America is great, and it is the symbol of freedom to the world. But if you say, you know what, I'm not going into my security job tomorrow. I'm not going into my, my gardener job tomorrow. I'm not going into the warehouse tomorrow. America will stop overnight. Right. The CEOs, you'll probably have some of those white men that will jump out of buildings because them stock prices on those different companies would drop. You know how they get when they money get funny, they ready to off everybody and themselves. If you could give me Hebrews 10 and 24. Okay. Hebrews 10 and 24, if you could.
So, like, if I may,
go ahead.
All throughout American history, there was a whole time when a bunch of people was immigrating, and they write that in the history books. But as soon as it talks about, like, God's chosen people immigrating, it's like, oh, that's such a bad thing. But America's history books is filled with the immigration of, like you said, Irish, Polish people and stuff like that. So it's like you just see the hate that they have towards us because, back in that day, they called those like the glory days and stuff like that. Like,
right.
When immigrants was coming over, but when it come to us, it's like, nah.
Con. Let me see something real quick. Just let me know when you got it.
I got it.
Go ahead.
Come on. The book of Hebrews, chapter 10, verse 24. And let us consider one another to provoke unto love and to good works, not forsaking the assembling of ourselves together.
Not forsaking the assembly of ourselves together. That's what we do in the I.S.U.P.K. We come together. We don't forsake being together. We don't take for granted being together. I love when I'm with my brown brothers.
Right.
It's a beautiful experience to be around my brothers and we on the same page, talking about the same issues, focus on the same goal.
Right.
Go ahead.
Come on. As the manner of some is, but exhorting one another, and so much the more as ye see the day approaching. Verse 26.
You can drop that. That was verse 20. Verse 25.
Come on.
You can drop that. Give me Matthew 18 and 20. Matthew 18 and 20.
Come on. The book of Matthew, chapter 18, verse 20. For where 2 or 3 are gathered together in my name, there am I in the midst of them.
Where 2 or 3 are gathered in the Lord's name, you can find 2 or 3. You can find a few in the I.S.U.P.K. gathered in the name of the Most High.
Right.
You can find priest and prophet, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians gathered together in Haiti, in Puerto Rico, in Canada, in the UK, in New York, in LA. You know what I'm saying? You can see in Chicago, you can find a lot of God's chosen men that are gathered together in the name of Christ,
right,
in the body of Christ. Read it from the top again.
Come on. The book of Matthew, chapter 18, verse 20. For where 2 or 3 are gathered together in my name, there am I in the midst of them.
Where 2 or 3 are gathered in my name, he is in the midst of them. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. We just read that 2 are better than 1. If you come together under the banner of Christ in the I.S.U.P.K, Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, there is nothing that Donald Trump can do.
Right.
There is nothing that America can do. There is nothing that ICE can do.
Right.
The Lord is with you. All right. Go ahead.
Come on. Keep reading.
Where you at? What verse you on?
21.
Let me hear it.
Come on. Verse 21. Then came Peter to him and
said, you can just drop it. Let's get Psalms 133 and 1.
Come on.
Psalms 133 and 1.
The book of Psalms, chapter 133, verse 1. Behold, how good and how pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity.
That's what I just said. That will be the actual, that's the Passover.
Right.
That's a high holy day. That's what we just had in Arizona. Read it from the top again.
The book of Psalms, chapter 133, verse 1.
Uh-huh.
Behold, how good and how pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity.
It's a pleasant thing. Excuse me. It's a pleasant thing for brothers to be together in the presence of each other in unity. You know why? Because when we're not under the banner of Christ, when we don't know our heritage, we're together in chaos. We're fighting one another. We're killing one another. We're at war with one another. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. We're at war. Black and brown fight one another. Black and black fight one another. And brown fight one another. Right. We don't have any unity. There is no unity. We all separate into our little sects and our cliques and in our tribalism. And even within that, we hate one another. Right. So whenever you can get around black and brown men in a situation where everybody just gets along, where there is no infighting, there is nobody walking around with a grudge against another brother. If he does, he can pull him to the side and, speak his issue. When you come into a place like that, man, that's beautiful. Right. It's a pleasant feeling. It's a relief off your back. As black and brown men, we live a life where, everything is like against us, and it's like a monkey on your back. I say that like when you trying to what I'm saying, get off of some type of drug, you got the monkey on your back. It's like a monkey on your back that gets off your back when you come into the I.S.U.P.K. and you realize that you have so many things in common with some brown brother or with another a black brother that you never knew that you had. And you would just from the outside looking in, you would look at them like, I can't get along with that nigga. I can't get along with them. They'll never accept me, and I'll never accept them. But in the I.S.U.P.K, we come together, and it's so beautiful. If you could read it one more time, please.
The book of Psalms, chapter 133, verse 1. Behold, how good and how pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity. It is like precious ointment upon the head that ran down upon the beard.
Wait, hold that real quick. Let me see real quick. Read it from the top again.
Come on. The book of Psalms, chapter 133, verse 1.
Uh-huh.
Behold, how good and how pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity.
Mm-hmm.
It is like precious ointment upon the head that ran down upon the beard.
I didn't mean to stop you. Go ahead and finish it.
Even Aaron's beard that went down to the skirts of his garment.
It's a beautiful thing, man. It's like that oil. It's like being anointed with that oil. It's like that oil running down your head, running down your beard. You know what I'm saying? That's how beautiful it is to see our kind, our people, our kindred, our kinfolk getting together, coming together, having a good time, and nothing happens. You know what I mean? That's unheard of in the black and brown community. It's hella rare. The only way that happens is if you got a sea of police standing guard. Well, in the I.S.U.P.K, we are the police. We police ourselves. We are a law unto ourselves. And you don't see none of that happen. You see black and brown men come together, have a good time. Families come together, you know what I mean? Serve the Lord in the spirit of truth. And that's what it is. That's how it should be.
Right.
It's pleasant, man. It's pleasant. And it don't have to be, chaos and terror and murder and hate. Don't have to be that. If you come in here and put on all black, you can learn. You get in classes, you get in these classes, you can learn how to be a brother. You can learn how to be a sister. You can learn what's most important to the Most High.
Right.
You let go of your feelings and all of your, the things you've been holding your whole life about brown brothers, or the things as a brown man, the things you've been holding all your life about black men. You can let those go and have real conversations and have real connection with your brothers, because we are brothers according to the scriptures, right. According to the Most High. We all derive from Abraham, Jacob, Isaac, and Jacob, and we're brothers. You could drop that. Let's get let's get 1 Corinthians 1 and 10. 1 Corinthians chapter 1, verse 10. Okay. We're definitely going to get into heaven. We're going to see what the Bible talks about heaven and hell, and get into that. And where does that even come from? What is the idea of some hell being underground come from and heaven being in the sky? Go ahead.
Come on. The book of 1 Corinthians chapter 1 verse 10.
Mm-hmm.
Now I beseech you, brethren, by the name of our Lord Yahushua Mashiach, that ye all speak the same thing.
That you all what?
That ye all speak the same thing.
We all speak the same things. Go ahead.
And that there be no divisions among you.
There be no divisions, man.
Right.
We all speak the same thing. In the I.S.U.P.K, I don't care where you go. You go, like I said, you go anywhere in the world, any school in the I.S.U.P.K, we all speak the same thing. Right. There is no division amongst blacks and Hispanics in the I.S.U.P.K. There is no, differences. There is no different doctrines. But you'll get that in the Christian church. You'll get different doctrines in the in the Catholic church. You walk into one church, they do something one way, another church say, oh, no, you can't do that here. They have made up all type of doctrines and teachings, and it's a church on one corner that has something different, that teaches something different than the church on the next corner, and they have the same Bible.
Right.
Go ahead, on.
Come on. But that ye be perfect, like that ye be perfectly joined together in the same mind and in the same judgment.
That you be perfectly joined together in the same mind, in the same judgment. You understand? That's us in the I.S.U.P.K. That's what we want for our people. That's where we want our people to end up at. Right now, with all the oppression that's coming down on our brown brothers, what we need to understand is that we are stronger together.
Right.
And we have to be on point to understand, like, this devil don't love neither one of us.
Right.
They're not giving neither one of us any breaks. I don't know why we think that, oh, that's them, that's not us. I don't know why we have that mentality.
Right.
You understand? But the thing is that if we do not come together, we are going to be destroyed by our oppressor.
Right.
If we cannot return to our identity under Christ, we're going to be destroyed by our oppressor.
Right.
It's black or brown, either we unite or we're going to die.
Right.
You're going to die because if you're not willing to unite, you're going to be willing to follow America.
Right.
You're going to be willing to follow Donald Trump, and you're going to follow these people into the Third World War. You got a question?
No.
You could drop that. Let's drop that. If you could, we're going to read a little bit out of the book. Let's get Black West. This is the book called Black West. We'll speak about the relationship between brothers and Native American Indians. This is the book Black West. Let me see. There we go. I do this just so brothers and sisters, if they know what we're reading from, what it looked like. Here you go, I bought. If you could get page, I want what's highlighted in page 8. Yes. Before you get that, I just want to say, I said it already, but we like to divide ourselves as Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. We like to be Latin Kings, MS-13, Crips, Bloods. We're tribal people. It's in us to be warriors. It's in us to be like that. You understand? But we like to divide ourselves, and we think that we're right in that tribalism. We think that we're right in FBA. We think we're right in Pan-Africanism, and none of them things have worked. Right. We think that we right in being Black Panthers, Brown Berets. None of them things have worked.
Right.
None of them have worked. So we make that thing our thing instead of making our true identity that thing. Instead of making, what we believe in as far as what the white man told us we were our thing, we should make being an Israelite our thing.
Right.
All right, go ahead.
This is page 8 of the Black West.
Uh-huh.
Divisions of the races is an indispensable element, warned a Spanish official. European governors constantly sought to destroy the alliances, so like the alliances in the woods, with tactics of divide and rule.
The Europeans constantly what?
European governors constantly sought to destroy alliances in the woods with tactics of divide and rule.
So the Europeans, when they were trying to conquer the Native American Indians, they constantly tried to make tactics to divide the Native American Indians from black people. They didn't want us to come together. Why? Because they couldn't stop us when we were together.
Right.
They couldn't defeat us when we were together. When we were of the same mind, what we just read, where we read that at in
1 Corinthians.
1 Corinthians. When we were of the same mind and there was no division, they could not stop us.
Right.
So they planned to, divide black people and Native American people some way. Go ahead.
Come on. In 1523, Hernando Cortez enforced a royal order in Mexico that banned Africans from Indian villages. In 1723,
so he, I'm sorry, what's his name again?
Hernando Cortez.
Hernando Cortez. He made a rule where black people couldn't go into Native Indian villages. Didn't want us to be around one another. Separated us. Go ahead.
In 1723, Jean-Baptiste Lemoyne de Bienville, founding governor of Louisiana, urged that putting these barbarians into play against each other is the sole and only way to establish any security in the colony.
So they said the only way to establish any security in the colony, to take over, is to pit these groups to get against one another.
Right.
To pit the blacks against the Native American Indians. We need to divide them. We need to put a wedge in between them. We need to make them feel like, these blacks, they hate y'all, and vice versa. That's what you see today. You see black people that hate Mexicans. You see Mexicans that hate black people.
Right.
And it is the same hatred that was given to them by their oppressor, the white man. A lot of times you look at our people and you say, if you're not even looking at them, they black, but you say, damn, you sound just like a white supremacist when you talk about Mexicans.
Right.
Or you hear a Mexican talk about black people, say, you sound just like a white supremacist. They hated both of you.
Right.
And now their plan is successful because both groups have a thing against one another. Oh, these Mexicans taking our jobs, man. They're taking our job, man. They need to come over here the right way. Oh, these black people, man, they lazy, man. They don't want to take the jobs that they were successful.
Right.
Go ahead,
So, if I may.
Go ahead.
I remember this once.
You got the mic?
Come on. I remember this once when I was still in high school. I was talking to one of my friends, heavy I.S.U.P.K, and he was telling me how much hate that his older Hispanic parents had towards black people. And to me, I didn't know. And then I look around, like a couple of the Hispanic people were shaking their hair like, yeah, my parents is racist. And I'm like, yeah,
right.
Like, it was like, so like a culture shock to me because I didn't understand, growing up, in the truth. Like, why would y'all hate us? But, because I ain't never had no hate towards no Mexicans. So it's like weird to see that kids saying their parents hated Mexicans. So I'm like, dang.
That's crazy.
I didn't even know all that.
Yeah, that's crazy. Keep going.
Come on. In 1776, U.S. Colonel Stephen Bull saying his policy was to establish a hatred between the two races.
Damn. What? Say that again. Read that again. Y'all need to hear this so you can understand how you done been played as blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. Go ahead.
In 1776, U.S. Colonel Stephen Bull saying his policy was to establish a hatred between the two races.
Damn, he wanted to establish a hatred between the two races. He wanted black and brown to hate one another. Now we're in a situation where it's black or brown, you got to unite or die.
Right.
You got to unite or die. Before, they couldn't separate you. They realized they couldn't defeat you without you being separate and hating one another. Go ahead.
Come on. So like in 1776, U.S. Colonel Stephen Bull saying his policy was to establish a hatred between the two races, dispatched Indians to hunt black runaways in the Carolinas. Staggering rewards were offered to Africans to fight Indians and to Indians to fight Africans. In the Carolinas, Native Americans were bribed with 3 blankets and a musket. And in Virginia, it was 35 deer skins. Governor Pierre of Louisiana offered Indians 2 muskets, 2 blankets, 20 pounds of balls, 4 shirts, mirrors, knives, musket stones, and 4 lengths of cloth for a wrist.
I'm sorry, you got to read that again. He gave them what?
Come on.
I'm sorry about that.
No,
I was reading this comment. Go ahead.
In the Carolinas, Native Americans were bribed with 3 blankets and a musket. And
Native American Indians were bribed with 3 blankets and a musket gun.
Right.
Listen to this. You have to understand. Now you have these Europeans that then came over here, and when they would fight these wars with the Native Indians, they would fight, and they would say you fighting, you're battling every other day. You don't have time to grow crops. If you do, the Europeans would come and cut those crops. So you're almost pressed to starving because you're being moved off your land. Then he comes and says, here's 3 blankets and a musket gun. That's how he bribed them to start hating and hunting black people. Go ahead.
Come on. And in Virginia, it was 35 deerskins. Governor Pierre of Louisiana offered Indians 2 muskets, 2 blankets, 20 pounds of balls, 4 shirts, mirrors, knives, musket stones, and 4 lengths of cloth for the recapture of a single runaway.
So they basically bribed the Native American Indians off of after they bribed them, after they done destroyed them and pushed them off their land. And you got to think about this as being as like in reality, you have women and children with you. You're fighting these colonists, you're fighting these colonizers, and now they want to make peace and they want to offer you something in order to go against black people. Keep going.
Oh my God. In 1721, the governor of Virginia had the 5 nations sign a treaty and promised to return all runaways. In 1726, the governor of New York had the Iroquois Confederacy make a similar promise. In 1746, the Hurons promised, and the next year, the Delawares promised.
So for time's sake, you can stop right there. We were going to go into Black Indians. There's some more in it, in the Black and Brown Unity. This is the book Black Indians. There's more in it. But for time's sake, we're going to skip that. But the point I made is that Black and Brown need to come together. And you see in the history how a lot of the hate that we have for one another was interjected into each other, where they would literally bribe each other, bribe Black men, bribe Native American men to go after one another. And so as Black and Brown people, we have to see that we have been played. We have to come back to our heritage and understand that we are one nation, and we have to forgive one another because there are things that we have done to one another, but we have to be able to forgive one another so that we can understand we have a common oppression and we have a common enemy. We have somebody that has always been over us, that has devised plans and schemes for us to hate one another. And we have to let go of his ideology and let go of his thoughts and come back to the Lord's thoughts, which are to dwell in unity, which is to come together, be brothers again, be of one mind, be of one spirit, one body, like Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian men are in the I.S.U.P.K. He says, David, what the hell are you talking about? You said others are. Listen, David, let me see. What does David says? If you don't repent of your false start, you will perish in hell. God doesn't will that any should perish, but all are coming. Shut the hell up. Let me tell you something. This is a classic Christian, because Christians always trying to tell you who are going to perish in hell. It's a good thing I'm talking about hell. David, if you know so much about hell, what is hell? If you can't answer it, I'm going to ban you from out of the comments. Answer the question. What is hell? Right. What is hell? Don't post anything else, David. You post something else without answering that question. If you don't answer the question, what is hell? You are no longer going to be able to post. So either you be a man or you be a coward. All right. Now, if you could, let's get what give me. I have seen. I want you to get. I have seen princes on the ground. I have seen servants on horses and princes on the ground. Get that, and then we're going to talk about the Theodore Roosevelt equestrian statue. Just hold it. Come on. Now, I want you to look at this. Let me pull this up. Remember, David, don't type nothing else unless you answer that question. You're not answering the question, David. You said hell is where the Lord described the rich man was in a parable with Lazarus. You still, what is hell though? You're not saying it. Let me move on. So now President Theodore Roosevelt, there is in front of the New York Natural History Museum, they have this statue. This statue is called the equestrian statue of Theodore Roosevelt. And what it's supposed to signify is his great safaris and him going out into Africa and him going out into different wildernesses. But I want you to actually look at the statue. He has a Native American Indian on one side and a black man on the other side. This is spiritual. You understand? This is spiritual. And we're going to get into it and we're going to read about what's the significance of this statue. You see, they can say what it means. They can say that it means something else. But we know as Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians in the truth that the life that we see, the history that we then saw that our people don't went through, and the life that we see our people even live today is prophetic. And it is not only prophetic, it is historic, it's biblical history and what has happened to God's chosen people. And it is prophecy also. So we're going to get into that. And let me just check the comments one more time. Yeah, okay, you didn't say anything else because you don't know what hell is, David. You don't know what hell is. You said it twice. You don't know what hell is. Let me get that precept I bought.
The book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 10, verse 7. I have seen servants upon horses and princes walking as servants upon the earth.
I want you to read it from the top again.
Come on. The book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 10, verse 7. I have seen servants upon horses.
I have seen servants upon horses. Keep going.
Come on. And princes walking as servants upon the earth.
And princes walking as servants upon the earth. This is a prophetic statue that sits in New York in front of the Natural History Museum. I actually been there. I have pictures of being in there. They have, a plethora of different artifacts from all over the world. Mexico, Olmec heads, Egypt, Egyptian artifacts. But this is what has happened to God's chosen people.
Bro.
God's chosen people are walking upon the earth as servants, while there is other people that are ruling above you.
Right.
So this statue is symbolic to the prophecy that would happen to Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. Ain't that something? Is that it on the precept?
Come on.
Let me see. Let me look at the comments again. David said, "Oh, you went to the Strongs and you went to the Strongs, to the Greek, Hades, souls, grave, hell, strong, definitely." According to what you posted that's good, but you still didn't explain what hell is.
Right.
You don't know what hell is. Just say you don't know. And that would be a hell of an answer. So now we're going to get into heaven and hell. Just stay tuned, David, and you'll be educated on what heaven and hell is. If you could let me get Revelations 5 and 10.
Come on.
Before you get that, let me just say this. I want people in the comments, what did the Christian church usually say about heaven and hell. What do they believe in Christianity? Like many of us grew up as Christians. We grew up in the Christian church, and we grew up with the idea that, you know, heaven is this cloudy place with rainbows, and you walk up these stairs and the Lord puts a crown on your head or something like that. And hell is this place underground where people are tormented and it's fiery and people are screaming and there's demons everywhere. And that is what typically is what people think that heaven and hell is. I don't know. Somebody in the comments, tell me what typically what y'all thought hell was, if you could. We'll wait a little bit. We'll give some time. You can even chime in, David. You can chime in too. All right. You got any questions? Any questions? We'll give about another minute and then we'll move on. All right.
Okay.
Sis Black Dazzle said exactly what I said. Yeah, exactly. It's usually is, you know, this place, you know, you know, like when in a Black community, when somebody I mean, it's probably everybody when somebody passes away, right? When somebody passes away and they make the obituary, don't matter what type of person they was, they'll put the wings on them. And people be like, he got his wings, and they have a big old light coming from behind his head in the clouds, and it's be like, it'd be like he up there, he watching over us. What was he gonna say?
Like, have you seen the memes when they like when Harambe had died, or like when jokes got old and stuff like that? They would do that. They would make like obituary photos.
Right.
They made one of Harambe, like oh my gosh, but yeah.
Yeah, Sister Baranta now said underground torture and torment forever. The cop said hell in the church was below with fire and the devil. Yes. Oh, yeah. Did I say the devil? I said demons. The devil was there too. I think hell was where the souls of the evil, bad people would go after death. Yes. True. That's typical thought. And isn't it funny that like Christians, you only hear this really from Christians where they literally will condemn somebody to hell. They say, look, matter of fact, David just did it. They say, you're going to hell. You're going to be in hell. Like Christians like have this thing in their head that they have the power to say whether or not somebody is going to hell. Right. Like you don't even know what hell is, and who knows who's going to hell? No one will really even knows that. You know what I mean? And nobody even has the power to condemn you to hell, but the Most High. Right. You know what I'm saying? So it's funny that you know, Christians will always say that, like, you're going, he going to hell, you're going to hell, you're going to hell. Like you if you don't change your way, you're going to hell. What? You better be careful, because you might be the one that ends up 6 feet. Right. You might be the one that ends up in a hellish condition. Right. Go ahead, I.
Like, have you ever seen that video of this super Christian white boy walking through the house of what's it called? A Satanist church. And everything he see like that's devilish, he's like, I'll rebuke you in the name of Jesus. Like every artifact, he walks through the whole house. I'm like, what is that doing? Like, what is you telling the statue, or I'll rebuke you in the name of Jesus? So like, same thing you saying, like, I condemn you to hell. Like,
right?
It's vain. Like nothing y'all saying is going, go through, because
it's not going to happen. You know what I'm saying? Let me see. Smarter Than Most. They got that from the song "Stairway to Heaven," step by step. Hell, what you say, David? Let me see what you said, David. You said, will false prophets not be judged if they die in their sin? What is a false prophet? You gotta first devise what is the criteria of the Bible says that a false prophet is. And for time's sake, I say a false prophet is somebody that says something of the Lord that does not come to pass.
Right.
So yes, a false prophet, if he is a false prophet and if he is sinning, which is transgressing the law, if he dies, yes, he will. I don't know, man. It's you got a lot of tears in this question, but first of all, we established what a false prophet is, but will he not be judged? What does it mean to be judged, David? What do you believe it means to be judged? We got to do this in steps. because I'm sure it's obvious you're a Christian, and so I have to do it in steps.
Right.
So to bring you up to speed, if you could, let's get Revelations 5 and 10, right?
Okay.
Because they talk about heaven. They talk about heaven being in some place when you die that you go to. And if you was considered a good person, you're going to heaven. If you were considered a bad person, you in hell right now. So if you did bad in your life and people know you did bad, they're like, yeah, he's rotten in hell right now. And they said, oh, she's an angel right now because she was a good person. Go ahead. Let me hear it.
Hold on, Colin. The book of Revelation, chapter 5, verse 10. And has made us unto our God kings and priests, and we shall reign on earth. So, like, and we shall reign.
Hold on. I'm sorry. Let me answer this question. It says, if the Bible says prophesy in my name, what he talking about? Are you smarter than most? Are you asking that question? Or are you just saying, what is David talking about? Salakia. Go ahead. Read it from the top.
The book of Revelation, chapter 5, verse 10.
And
has made us unto our God kings and priests, and we shall reign on the earth.
And we shall reign on the earth. When Christ returned, he made us what? Kings and what?
Kings and priests.
And we shall what?
And we shall reign on the earth.
That's verse 10.
Come on. We
We shall reign on the earth, not in the sky. We shall reign on the earth. When the Israelites come, smarter than most, when the Israelites come into power, we will reign with Christ on the earth. Who are we going to reign over? Peoples,
right.
Nations, on the earth, though. Not in the clouds, not in some magical place called heaven that the Christian church has taught, that's in the sky, but on the earth, right here where we at right now. Let's get Matthew 6 and 10.
Come on, God.
Right where we at right now. Matthew 6 and 10.
The book of Matthew, chapter 6, verse 10.
Thy
kingdom come.
Go up one precept.
Come on. The book of Matthew, chapter 6, verse 9. In this manner, therefore, pray ye, our Father, which art in heaven.
This is Christ, Matthew chapter 6 and 6, where they ask him, how should he pray? Right? Our Father, go ahead.
Which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, in earth as it is in heaven.
Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven.
Right.
It's going to be on earth when the kingdom come. On Judgment Day, after everything is said and done, the new kingdom, New Jerusalem, is going to be on earth.
Right.
And we will reign over the people on earth, not in the sky, not in a magical place. Let's get Revelation 2 and 25.
Come on.
You've never heard this from your Christian pastor because they don't know the Bible. They have not been revealed the mysteries. And even if you couldn't get it right now, it's because the Most High don't want you to get it. But it's plain and simple in the Bible that you have in your house, that your grandmother have open in the middle to Psalms on the table. Some of y'all got a Bible in the backseat of your car, and no one knows the Bible. But everybody says, oh, we going to heaven, or we going to hell, or he's my such and such, he watching over me right now. He a guardian angel. Go ahead. Oh, go ahead, Jeremiah. Young man Jeremiah.
I don't know why they think they like in charge of like who's going there.
Right. No one is in charge. In fact, we'll get that. We'll get about what happens to you when you die. I don't know why it's so much confusion when Bible's been printed all over the world in 3,000 different languages. I don't know why it's so much confusion of what happens when you die. Maybe people are not reading it.
Right. They're just putting there for.
Maybe they're not reading it. Go. What you say?
They're just putting there for just design. Like, yeah, I know something.
Yeah. They're just saying whatever comes to their brain. You know what I mean? Go ahead.
2:25.
Yeah.
Come on. The book of Revelation, chapter 2, verse 25. But that which ye have already hold fast till I come. And he that overcometh and keepeth my works unto the end, to him will I give power over the nations.
He said, he that keepeth my works to the end, I will give power over the nation. Keyword, till the end.
Right.
Then I will give power to over the nations. He will give us power over the nations. What are the nations? People on earth. The nations on earth. Okay, let's get Revelations 21 and 12. This is the heaven, y'all. I mean, it's self-explanatory. Should be to most. David, I don't want you to come in live. This is not that type. We ain't on that type of time right now. But if you want to have a debate, we can do that at another time. This is a class setting. Okay, there's structure and order in this class setting. I mean, you're lucky I even acknowledge your comment, because usually I don't really pay attention like that, because I have a time slot that I have to do my class within. But if you would like to get cut at a different time, you definitely can, line it up. We can line it up. And I'll cook you. Go ahead. Young man Jeremiah.
Revelations 21 and 12.
Uh-huh.
Having the glory of God, and her light was like unto a stone most precious.
That's 21 and 12?
Yeah.
Okay.
Even like a jasper stone, clear as crystal.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 12, and I had a wall great and high, and had a twist, had 12 gates. At the 12 gates angels and names written 10 thereon, which are the names of the 12 tribes of Israel.
Now it's talking about it's talking about New Jerusalem, and it had 12 gates. 12 gates, David, which on them was written the 12 tribes of Israel. Not everybody that repents, not everybody that wants to follow Israelites, just the Israelites. The 12 tribes of Israel. That's it. That is it. These are the people who will be ruling the earth. These are the tribes that came out of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. The tribe of Judah, which Christ derives from. You understand? Right. The tribe of Levi, which Moses derives from. You understand that? There is no, this is not, I'm sidebarring, but there is no all nations are going to be together when Christ returns. It tells you that in Revelations. It tells you that. Go ahead. This is the end. Revelations is the end. You can't show me something in the middle of the book and try to say this is what this means. No, the ending, the beginning tells you it's the 12 tribes of Israel. The middle and Psalms tell you the Lord is only dealing with the 12 tribes of Israel. No one even knows his word. And at the end in Revelations, the New Jerusalem, it has 12 gates numbered for the 12 tribes of Israel. Go ahead, young man Jeremiah.
13. On the east, 3 gates on the north, 3 gates on the south, 3 gates on the west, 3 gates, and 14. And the walls of the city had 12 foundations, and them the names of the 12 apostles of the Lamb. 15. And he that talked with me had a golden reed to measure the city and the gates thereof, and the walls thereof. 16. And the city lights lieth foursquare, and the length is large as the breadth, and his measured the city with the reed 12,000 for long, the length and the breadth.
Salaki, I said, let's Salaki, go back to verse 2. Yeah.
21 and 2.
Let me hear it.
And
No. Start at 21 and 1.
Come on. The book of Revelation, chapter 21, verse 1.
Listen to this. Go ahead.
All the way down to 12.
No, we're going to 2.
Come on. The book of Revelation, chapter 21, verse 1. And I saw a new heaven and a new earth.
I saw what?
A new heaven and the new earth.
I saw a new heaven and a new earth.
Right.
Go ahead.
For the first heaven and the first earth were passed away.
They both passed away. Go ahead.
And there was no more sea. And I, John, saw the holy city.
He saw what?
The holy city.
He saw the holy city.
New Jerusalem.
New Jerusalem. Not the Jerusalem you know as today right now in Israel where they, it's the infighting and everything going on. But he's seen a new Jerusalem. Go ahead.
Coming down from God out of heaven.
Coming down from the Most High out of heaven. Right. Go ahead.
Prepared as a bride adorned for her husband.
So when we talk about the kingdom, it's going to be here on earth. It's going to be here on earth. Right. He said, I saw a new heaven and a new earth. Heaven is twofold. Heaven can mean the sky. It can mean the dimension where the Most High is. It also can mean a rulership. So right now, white people are in heaven right now. This is their heaven.
Right.
This is their heaven right now. The Lord said, you know what? This is going to be a new heaven. That the heaven that you knew that Donald Trump is ruling and, JFK is ruling and, colonizers have ruled the world and conquered all of the different lands. That heaven is going to pass away. But I seen New Jerusalem coming down, and it's coming down from the Most High, and it's coming down here on earth. That New Jerusalem, what we read, we was in verse 20, 21. It had 12 gates for the 12 tribes of Israel. Let's clap it up for the Most High. Right? That's heaven.
Right.
Heaven is not a place where you go when you die.
Right.
Matter of fact, let's get what happens when we die. Give me the precept where it talks about being in the presence of the Lord. Like even in Ecclesiastes, it tells you there is no work or device or knowledge when you go into the grave. The dead know nothing.
Right.
You're at rest. You don't know nothing. When you die, you don't just appear like a TikTok video looking around and it's clouds and a light. And you like, hey, Lord, can I get inside the pearly gates? It don't happen that way. It don't happen that way. The Bible is clear and specific on how and what happens when you die. So like, hold on one second. Let me get this. We got some real trolls in here. Gone. Let me hear it.
The book of 2 Corinthians.
Hold on one. Outcasts of Israel are not the 12 tribes, David. Outcasts of Israel is the northern kingdom. It's half of God's chosen people. You have to know the history of the Israelites to know that. Outcasts of Israel is just a part of the Israelites. You have to understand that the Israelites were scattered abroad to the four corners of the earth. Let me just give you, a breakdown. Let me give you a breakdown of, I'm being merciful right now, David. Okay. So I'm going to give you a breakdown real quick. The Israelites were in multiple captivities many times when they were carried away or they were enslaved by another group, a lot of times they stayed in those lands and they grew up in those lands and they were cut off from the commonwealth of the Israelites, because in those days, the Israelites believed in Jerusalem that if you did not grow up following all the customs since you was born, being circumcised from the time you was born, you were considered an outcast. You were not one of them, even though you were of the bloodline. So you had the Egyptian captivity. You had the Babylonian captivity, Assyrian captivity. You had what else? The Greek and Roman captivity. You had the Persian Medes captivity, and you had Israelites deported and living in these different lands, scattered all over the world.
Right.
Being from the seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, but growing up like a heathen, worshiping the god Diana, worshiping the god Baal, worshiping the god of the Moabites.
Right.
Living a life, Black people and the Native American and Hispanic people grow up worshiping white Jesus. Mexicans grow up worshiping Guadalupe and the Virgin Mary. They're Israelites. They're God's chosen people. Bloodline. Far away from the commonwealth of Israel. But thanks be to Christ coming that we all can come back to the truth. When Paul is speaking, the people Paul and Peter are speaking to in Acts, Corinthians, Ephesus, and Romans, and Antioch, these are Israelites that are Hellenized. You got to get your history up. Get your weight up, David. Get your weight up. You need your weight up. Get your weight up. You got to get your weight up to walk amongst giants in this truth.
Right.
These are Israelites, wherever they talking, whoever is being spoken to is an Israelite living in somebody else's nation, calling themselves by that nation. Right. Just like Black people call themselves African American, Mexican American. None of that is true. All right, I done wasted enough time. Let's get back to where you at. Give me that.
The book of 2 Corinthians chapter 5 verse 10.
Uh-huh.
For we must all appear before the judgment seat of Christ, that everyone may receive the things done in his body according to that he had done, whether it be good or bad.
No, that's not what I want. Let me give it to you. 1 second. Give me 2 Corinthians 5 and 8.
The book of 2 Corinthians chapter 5 verse 8. We are confident, I say, and willing rather to be absent from the body and to be present with the Lord.
To be absent from the body is to be present with the Lord. Now give me Ecclesiastes 9 and 5. You absent from the body, your spirit leaves your body. It does not turn into a damn angel and you start watching over people. And it does not go to this mystical place that Christians call heaven. Ecclesiastes 9 and 5, if you could. So like it, sir, I have a question about the angels. When Sai comes back, will they only come down to unalive the non-tribes other than reporting to the Most High? You said, Nakaf said, Salaki, sir, I have a question about the angels. When the Most High comes back, will they only come down to unalive the non-tribes? Yeah, non-tribes, you must be talking about heathens, okay? Other than reporting to the Most High. Well, now I would get a precept so you can understand who is going to do the damage. Okay, you got that?
Okay.
1 second, let me.
Ecclesiastes 9:5.
Yeah, let me hear that.
Okay. The book of Ecclesiastes chapter 9 verse 5. For the living know that they shall die, but the dead know not anything. Neither have they any more a reward, for the memory of them is forgotten. Also their love and their hatred and their envy is now perished.
What does it say?
Also their...
Does it say anything about the dead? No, nothing?
Come on.
Okay. Is it get into it or you already said it?
I already read it.
All right, if you read that one more time. So like, that's my bad.
The book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 9, verse 5.
Uh-huh.
For the living know that they shall die, but the dead know not anything.
The dead know what?
Not anything.
The dead don't know anything.
Right.
The dead, when you die, you dead. So you're not in somewhere in heaven. You know what I'm saying? And we know your spirit goes back to the Most High. Not saying it's in some place in the clouds and you walking around and you like, what's up? What's up, Nipsey Hussle? What's up, Tupac? Hey, that was a good album. Oh, look, Marilyn Monroe. Like, no, it's not none of that. It's none of that. You know what I mean? Let's get the sister question. Let's get Jeremiah 51 and 20. Sister said, I have a question about the angels. Most comes back. Will they only down to unalive the non-tribes other than reporting? The angels is always going to report to the Most High. Right. But I'm going to show you who's going to be doing the unalive and go. Let me see. If you could start at Jeremiah 51 and 19.
Come on. The book of Jeremiah, chapter 51, verse 19. The portion of Jacob is not like them, for he is the former of all things, and Israel is the rod of his inheritance. The Lord of hosts is his name. Verse 20, thou art my battle axe and weapons of war.
Thou art what?
Thou art my battle axe.
This is the Lord talking about the Israelites.
Right.
He's talking about his people. Read it from the top, verse 20.
Come on. Verse 20, thou art my battle axe and weapons of war.
He said, we are his battle axe and weapons of war. This is the future prophecy. Go ahead.
Come. For with thee will I break in pieces the nations.
For with what?
With thee will I break in pieces.
With the angels.
With thee will I break in pieces the nations.
With thee, with you, Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, will I break in pieces the nations. Go ahead.
Come. And with thee will I destroy kingdoms.
And with thee will I destroy kingdoms. The Lord is going to use his people to exact revenge on the people who have oppressed them, who have raped, robbed, and murdered them for hundreds of years.
Right.
The Lord is going to use us. Now, we probably don't have the spirit right now to be like that, but the Lord is going to put a spirit on us.
Right.
And we are going to be his battle axe.
Right.
We are going to be his weapons of war. He's going to use us to do the damage to these heathen nations. He's going to use us to do the damage to Esau's military. He's going to use us to fight that fight. You understand? To physically put hands. They're gonna be somewhere in a skyscraper, and a nigga just gonna appear out of nowhere and grab them up and snatch them up. The Lord is going to use us.
Right.
So as far as the Lord using angels, yes, the Lord can uses angels now. Angels have many occupations up under the Lord.
Right.
Angels can be messengers. Angels can be, can bring about, something good or something horrible.
Right.
But as far as when it comes to these nations, the Lord is going to use us.
Right.
I hope that answers your question. Now let's get into hell. For time's sake, let's get Matthew chapter 10, verse 28. We talked about heaven. Let's talk about hell. Let's talk about hell.
The book of Matthew, chapter 10, verse 28. And fear not them which kill the body, but are not able to kill the soul. But rather fear him which is able to destroy both soul and body in hell.
So you don't fear man. That's simple. You don't fear man, but you fear what? But rather fear.
But rather fear him which is able to destroy both soul and body in hell.
The Lord can destroy both soul and body in hell. Now, it's not like you die, then go to hell to be destroyed by the Lord.
Right.
The Lord can destroy you by giving you AIDS, by giving you an STD, by getting you being in an accident and losing your limbs,
right.
by you being destroyed in your finances, destroyed in your marriage. You will be in hell.
Right.
You will literally be in hell. Donald Trump just said that he gave what's those people over there that's holding the hostages? What's their name? I forget the name that is the people that the Israelis is fighting.
Hamas.
He gave Hamas until one of these days, like probably like 2 days. He gave them an ultimatum to return the hostages, and if not by that time, all hell is going to break loose. That's what Donald Trump said. You understand the concept of hell. You just been indoctrinated by Dante's Inferno. We're going to get to that. Why people think that hell is someplace underground that is on fire, and that's where you go if you was a bad person immediately once you die. Let's get Deuteronomy 32 and 22, and then we'll get Dante's Inferno. 22, you could probably skip up. Let me see, because I want to give some context with this. Let me look real quick. So like, yeah. You there?
Come on.
All right, give me a second. Let me get there with you. See where we want to skip up at. So let's get at 20. Start at 20.
Come on. The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 32, verse 20. And he said, I will hide my face from them. I will see that their end shall be, for they are very forward. For they are a very forward generation, children in whom is no faith. They have moved me to jealousy with that which is not God.
So the Lord is angry at the Israelites.
Right.
He's saying these people are evil. They have moved me to jealousy with that which is not God by that following Moloch and Baal. Go ahead.
They have provoked me to anger with their vanities.
They have provoked me to anger with their vanities. Go ahead.
And I will move them to jealousy with those which are not a people. I'll provoke them in anger to anger with a foolish nation. For a fire is kindled in mine anger.
The Lord said, because a fire is kindled in my anger. Go ahead.
And shall burn unto the lowest hell, and shall consume the earth with her increase.
So the Lord said, so the Lord is angry, and he said a fire, it shall consume to the lowest hell. He's angry at his people, and he said, you know what? I'm gonna turn my face away from them.
Right.
And they're going to be confused and in derision. They're going to go through it. They're going to go through hell.
Right.
Because my anger is burning at them. Hell is not a place, it's a condition. And now we're going to let me get Dante's Inferno. Now, Dante's Inferno is from a man named Dante Alighieri from the 14th century. He was exiled, and while he was exiled from his city, he decided to write a poem, right? And it's a narrative poem. It's called The Divine Comedy, and he wrote like 3 of them. It's followed by one called Purgatorio, which is purgatory, and Paradiso, which is paradise. The Inferno describes the journey of a fictionalized version of himself going through hell, and he was guided by an ancient Roman poet named Virgil. Okay, now this is an image of what it is like. You have layers, and you start at the top, and it has different layers. So let me just pull up this real quick. Let me pull up so we can explain, so you can understand. This is from the 14th century. So I'm going to pull up the actual breakdown so you can understand, and you can go look this up yourself. This is where the idea of hell comes from. The Christians at the time started this, and it was incorporated into Catholicism. Now, remember, David couldn't tell me what hell was because hell doesn't exist. Hell doesn't exist as you know it in the Christian church. Hell exists as a condition according to the Bible. It's you going through a rough time, a hellish state. Slavery was hell. You understand? Let me pull up 1 second. I got a screen share. Y'all stay with me. I'm finna screen share this and we're going to break it down. Why are we not screen sharing? Oh, no, there we go. Now, you would have layers. And when you first enter into hell, like depending on what your sin was, is where you would end up in hell. So the first one was like limbo. You kind of like just in a place where you're entering hell. Then you had lust. Lust was a place where, you know, maybe you committed adultery. So you would have people in that area of hell where they're just tormented by strong winds. They're still together. The people that committed adultery, they're in there, but they're tormented by strong winds. Then you have gluttony, right? And you just being rained on because you were so full of excess. You just kept eating and, you know, doing and gathering things. And then you have greed, anger, heresy, violence, fraud. And you get down to the bottom, it's fraud, and you have the devil, right? And the devil was a three-headed devil that was eating human beings. This is where Salakia. Let me see 1 second. I got y'all. Don't sweat. I forgot I had this. Let me put myself down. Let me put myself down real quick. Do I have to? No, I don't have to. I'll just do full screen. Full screen, okay. So now, let me get back. Like I said, so as you start in the top, right? You have limbo, you got lust, gluttony, greed, anger, heresy, violence, fraud, and at the bottom you would have the devil. This is Dante's Inferno. This is a poem that he wrote about a vision about going to hell. This later became an idea in the Christian church of hell being a place that is underground, y'all. Hell does not exist in the way that you think it exists.
Right.
It does not. Doesn't exist in the way you think it exists. All right. Now, if you could, let's get Ecclesiastes 3:16. David, I gave you plenty of scriptures, and you went and got a definition out the Strong Concordance. You haven't. You proved that you didn't even know what hell was long time ago. David, what are you? You Italian? Your last name, what is your last? Is your last name look like it might be Italian? You said how this is you know what? I love this. Give me Romans, give me Romans 9:13. I love this. You know what? We're gonna save that. Just get what I asked for.
Okay.
Let's get that and we're finished. We got 2 precepts on hell, and we're gonna get what King David said about hell, and we're going to talk about the place of judgment. Go ahead. Ecclesiastes 3:16.
The book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 3, verse 16. And moreover, I saw under the sun the place of judgment, that wickedness was there, and the place of righteousness, that iniquity was there.
He said, moreover, I saw under the sun that what?
That wickedness was there, and the place of righteousness, that iniquity was there.
That the place of righteousness, iniquity was there under the sun. Keep going.
Come on. Verse 17. I said in mine heart, God shall judge the righteous and the wicked, for there is a time there for every purpose and for every work.
So the place of judgment is where in this precept? Because we're talking about when Christ returns and where everybody is going to be judged. Because what do they say? They say that when you die, you go before the Lord in heaven. And then if you was bad, you go to hell. If you was good, you stay in heaven. They open up the pearly gate so you can come on in, right? Right here is saying that under the sun is the place of judgment. Under the sun means where? Go ahead, Abad.
On earth.
On earth. On earth. Under the sun. On earth. David, you cannot prove hell is a place. You cannot prove that with the Bible. You're just speaking what you think it is. I just proved to you with different precepts that heaven is going to be here on earth. It's a condition. It's a rulership. It's not an actual place that they taught you in the Christian church. And hell is a condition also. It's not an actual place under the ground with fire burning. That comes from a book called Dante's Inferno. That was a doctrine that was taken up by the Christian church. And today, millions of people believe that hell is the actual place with a fiery devil up under it. And it came from one man who was not ordained by the Most High. He was just a poet. And not only that, Dante, because of the people that he disdained in his life, he put a lot of the people that he knew in those different levels of hell. It's called a comedy. Yeah, that's your hell. That's your hell. If you could, let's get Psalms 18:3. Let's hear about King David and the things he went through and what he compared it to. And then we'll get some of these get on some of these comments before we get up out of here.
The book of Psalms, chapter 18, verse 3. I will call upon the Lord who is worthy to be praised. So shall I be saved from mine enemies. The sorrow of death compassed me, and the floods of ungodly men made me afraid.
David said, the sorrows of death compassed me, and the floods of ungodly men made me afraid. David was going through it. Remember, David was going through it when he was running from King Saul.
Right.
Someone of his own people who wanted to take his life. Go ahead.
The sorrows of hell compassed me about. The snares of death prevented me.
David said, the sorrows of hell compassed me about. So all of these things that David is going through, he is calling it hell.
Right.
He is calling it hell. These are real things that King David went through. And he is saying they are the sorrows of hell. Well, the sorrows of hell of Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians is you got to figure out how you're going to pay your rent. That's hell. That's living in hell. Living in hell is living in a community where you can't get a job and you're trying your hardest to do better for yourself, but you are stopped at every end. That is hell.
Right.
Living in hell is when you don't know whether or not your daughters or your sons going to grow up and say they want to change their genders. That's hell. Right. Hell is a condition. Hell is not a place.
Right.
The place of judgment is going to be right here on earth. Right here on earth. And the heaven that you know today, it's going to pass away, meaning the people who are in the good condition, in the best places, living the best lives, and in our rulership, running the earth, that heaven is going to pass away, and there's going to be a new heaven. Right. And that new heaven is going to consist of Black and Hispanic people running the earth under a Black man named Jesus Christ. Now, give me Romans 9:13 so that I could, attack this question. Joshua, you came in here and you said, how can you preach so much hate? The Bible says that God so loved the world, he gave his only begotten son. You preach yourselves, not Christ crucified. This is a dangerous, false doctrine. A false doctrine is putting up a white Jesus in every church and in every place and saying that Jesus Christ is a white man. That's a false doctrine. A false doctrine is that God loved everybody. Well, I'm going to show you in the Bible, Joshua, that that the Most High don't love everybody.
Right.
That Christ didn't love everybody. You got it?
Come on.
Let me hear it.
The book of Revelations, chapter 9, verse 13.
Uh-huh.
As it is written, Jacob have I loved.
The Bible says, as it is written, Jacob have I loved. There's love. Go ahead.
But Esau have I hated.
But Esau have I hated. Do you know who Esau is? I'm sure you don't know who Esau is.
Right.
I'm sure you probably don't. You see, the thing about Christians is y'all think the Bible is a fairy tale book. You think the Bible is just some book that you can use for goodness. When the Bible says that the Lord is a man of war,
right.
that's Exodus 15:3.
Right.
The Lord is a man of war. He is not a man of love. The Lord kills, he heals, he destroys. You know how I know? Because people die every day. Right. Horrible deaths.
Right.
150,000 people die every day. Did you know that, Joshua? Did you know 150,000 people die every day? Did you know that people die on their way to church? They die on. The Lord is a man of war. First of all, what you have to understand is he's a man,
right.
Not a woman, not a transgender, not an effeminate. He's a man,
right.
Masculine. That's what the Lord is. And the Lord can love and hate and do all the things that he wants because he is the creator of heaven and earth.
Right.
Now, if the Lord gave us the ability to have different emotions like love and hate and all that, why would you think he don't have that?
Right.
You wanted to say something, young man Jeremiah? Let him say it.
I was going to say the same thing.
Yeah. Well, if the Lord gave you the ability to feel shame, to feel wrath, to feel hate, to love, why you think he don't have those same emotions? He created you, dummy. You got to understand that your thoughts are not the Lord's thoughts. Don't try to think like the Lord. Don't try to put a human feeling on the Most High,
right.
Because it's not going to work. You're going to have to show us in the Bible that the Lord only loves. Christ said this. This is what happened when the white woman came to Christ. The Syrophoenician woman came up to Christ. Christ ignored her. The disciples said, "Send her away, because she keep crying after us." Christ called the woman a dog, called her a dog, and she agreed. She said, "Yes, Lord, but even the dogs get the crumbs from the master's table."
Right.
The Lord said to Moses in Exodus 11:7, "Shall not a dog move its tongue against the children of Israel, so that they may know that I have put a difference between Israel and the Egyptians."
Right.
He put a difference between any other group, and he called them dogs. Christ called the woman a dog. So if you think the Lord is supposed to be, have flowers in his head and be a hippie and be sitting at the end of the rainbow to hug everybody, you are out your damn mind. You don't know the Bible.
Right.
And you're going to be sadly mistaken when you see an austere, strict black man named Jesus Christ return to destroy this earth.
That's right.
You're going to be sadly mistaken.
Right.
You're going to understand in that day that we were God's chosen people, and you should have shut your goddamn mouth.
Right.
You don't understand the things of the Bible. You should be quiet.
Right.
You should be quiet. Let me hear what else you got.
No, that was it.
If you could give me, you come here talking all that love. Where was the love when your people was hanging my people from trees? Where was the love when you was burning black and Hispanic people in the streets?
Right.
Where's the love for Robert Brooks, who was just beaten by all white CEOs? Damn near 14 CEOs in the same room, and he died. Where is the love then? Don't talk to me about no goddamn love. You only love yourself. You are a wicked beast who only knows how to show compassion on your own people.
Right.
And as long as we go along, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians go along with this Christianity, which has destroyed us, You are okay. Well, it's a new day. It's different type of men that are in the I.S.U.P.K. The Lord is raising up black and brown men all over this world that understands who you truly are, that understands their history, that understands their identity, and understands their purpose. And none of that sweet talk is going to work here.
Right.
None of that Christian theology will work here. I will crush you, your pastor, and anyone else that proclaims that God loves everybody.
Right.
God loves the children of Israel.
That's
you
right.
understand? Give me Ecclesiastes where he talks about, I will come and they will know that I have loved you.
Right.
And we'll end with that. You damn heathens that came up into the class and you done set a fire. You didn't know that was about to get ablaze. You should be quiet. Christianity doesn't work here. Christianity has been alive for 400 years, and the world is destroyed because of Christianity, because of the doctrine of Christianity. Why don't you talk about those pastors that are molesting boys and girls in the Catholic Church, since there's so much love in Christianity? Huh? Why don't y'all talk about that? Let's talk about that. Let's talk about the multiple cases of child molestation and pastors sleeping with men's wives and pastors being degenerates and sexual deviants. Let's talk about that. Talk about me loving you. I don't want to love somebody that has pressed me for 400 years. You out your goddamn mind? I'm a free man. I am not a slave. The days of slavery and the days of shucking and jiving is gone. You're talking to a priest and prophet of God.
So like you said, Ecclesiastes.
Let me see. Let me help you out.
Sorry, I'm not finding Ecclesiastes.
Did I say Ecclesiastes?
Come on. You said it will be in Ecclesiastes.
Yeah, no sweat. If you okay, let's see. Is this it? That's not it. It's in it's in the Apocrypha. 1 second, y'all. Just bear with me. Give me Jeremiah 31:3, and then Jeremiah 31:3. Wait, is it all right, let me see. Revelations 3:9.
Come on, you want that before Jeremiah?
Give me that. Yeah.
The book of Revelation, chapter 3:9. Behold, I will make them of the synagogue of Satan, which say they are Jews and are not.
This is the problem, man. Everybody wants to say that what we ain't and what we are, and we're a hate group, and that we are not God's chosen people, and we got false doctrine and then all that. Listen, you don't know the Bible. You don't even know history. Y'all come in here thinking y'all know something. You don't know a goddamn thing. You don't know the foundations of the earth. You ain't been revealed the mysteries. You can't even understand this Bible. talking about love, love, love. Was it all love when Martin Luther King was talking all love, 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 and they blew his goddamn face off? Was it all love then?
Right.
Was it all Christianity then? A nigga out here stretching his hand forth, trying to be connected to y'all, Martin Luther King, loving you, saying, judge me by the content of my character, non-violent, and you still assassinate him. Was it all love then, white people? Keep reading.
Come on. But are of the synagogue of Satan, who say they are Jews and are not.
The people that claim that they Jews right now, Benjamin Netanyahu and all them, they are not Jews.
Right.
You understand? They are not God's chosen people. We can prove that with history. We can prove it with the history that they have recorded. Their own scholars say they are not connected to the Israelites. That's the reason why they won't even call themselves Israelites. They call themselves Israelis. Israel lie. They don't call themselves Hebrew Israelites because they know they cannot substantiate a claim to being the ancient people of Israel.
Right.
Go ahead, Ott.
Okay. But do lie. Behold, I will make them to come and worship before thy feet.
They're going to come, as well as any white people on the planet Earth are going to come and worship before our feet. You're going to bow down to God's chosen people who your ancestors have oppressed. You're going to pay for the crimes of your ancestors. That's what's going to happen to you. Go ahead.
And to know that I have loved thee.
And to know that I have loved thee. In that day, you are going to cry like the Karen that you are and the Craig and Tanner that you are, because you're going to realize what your lot in life is. You're going to realize that the people that you have hated, the people that you have put down, the people who you were prejudiced to and racist to are God's chosen people that he chose. And guess what? You're also going to realize that the Most High in Christ looks like them.
Right.
And in that day, you are going to be confounded. You won't have any breath in your lungs anymore. And all you will be able to do is gnash and gash at the teeth. You won't be able to plead your cause anymore because the Most High's garment is going to be dipped in blood.
Right.
You can repent now. You can pay now. You can get on the ground now, and you can put all the money you can into Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. But I guarantee you this: you're going to bow down to a nigga that's greater than you. You're going to bow down to black and brown people that are greater than you.
Right.
You understand? With that, that's the class. Let's clap. Listen, man. Listen. We can do it we can do it the easy way, or we can do it the hard way. I'm kind of glad that all of these demons came up in here because you kindled a fire that needed to be kindled. Don't try me. Don't try any of my brothers in the I.S.U.P.K. You know what I mean? Don't do it. David, you're still posting scriptures. You just don't get it. You just don't get it. But you will. You will. I pray you understand. With that, Israel, we're about to get up out of here. The water for everybody rocking in the class. I pray that everybody got the understanding of heaven and hell. Heaven, listen, heaven is rulership. Heaven is a condition that you're in. Right? And black people, Hispanic people, Native Indian people, you are not in heaven right now. Heaven is not no place you go to when you die. It's not in the sky. Hell is not a place you go when you die because you was a bad person. Hell is going through a rough time. We read King David was in hell when he was on the run. You are in hell when you're living and trying to survive in this place. You're in hell. You're in hell when you get pulled over by the police. You're in hell. You're going through hell right at that moment. Donald Trump just said that if Hamas doesn't take the ultimatum to let those hostages go, all hell is going to break loose. Right. Meaning the condition, you use it all the time, man. I'm going through hell, man. This is some hell. You use the word all the time when you're doing bad. You just didn't realize that the hell that the Christian church teaches comes from a book called Dante's Inferno. It comes from the idea of one man, and the Christian church took that and turned it into a whole theology of hell being under the earth. I pray you understand. I pray brothers and sisters got edification and learn something. And for you heathens, see me back here next Wednesday and we can rock and roll again and I can flame your ass again. With that, let's clap it up. We up out here, Israel. Shalom.